With over 28 miles of world-famous beaches, it's no wonder why Clearwater beaches have been voted as the #1 beaches in America. With 361 days of sunshine bringing the likes of sun worshippers, fine diners and world-class athletes, and sunsets at Pier 60, this area is a world-class destination. It's also the venue for the Foster Grant World Championship 70.3. Welcome to Clearwater, everyone, to the Foster Grant World Championship 70.3. I am Greg Welch for Ironman Live, and today we, for the ramp-up show, have Lisa Bentley from Canada joining us. Great to have you again, Lisa.
It's great to be here. What an amazing, amazing venue this is. We were in Kona a few weeks ago, World Championship venue, and it feels exactly the same right here on the beaches of Clearwater.
On Panama City Beach last week as well, where you were competing, Chris McDonald from Australia, and also competed in Ironman in Kona. Glad to have you again back with us at Ironman Live.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back on this side of the camera, Greg. Good to be joining yourself and Lisa for the weekend here in Clearwater. I'm really looking forward to bringing some great coverage of the race to the viewers this weekend.
So what's coming up today? Well, we'll talk about the weather for race day, also the pro field. It is the best of the very best here at the Foster Grant World Championship 70.3. Also some highlights of the course, points of interest, and the pro history of this wonderful 5-year-old race here in Clearwater. Also the age group athletes. We've got a lot about returning champions and some very well-known athletes as well. So let's talk about the weather here in Clearwater on race day. It's going to be absolutely perfect. Top temperatures around about 79 degrees. We'll start out at about 61 degrees, so not much change there right up until the midday hour where we see a lot of our athletes coming in. The wind's going to be very mild, so Lisa, it's going to be great race conditions.
Perfect race conditions, really. The one concern on this course is always the wind. If the wind picks up on the bike, it gets very, very difficult. I know from firsthand experience hitting that wind on McMullen Booth Road. So light winds is a gift.
Yes, and over onto the run course too, Chris. I mean, you know, going over that bridge, 4 times or so on the run, that's going to be very, very hot. Is that going to be helpful, or will it hinder it?
Definitely. I think if the temperature gets up and going over that causeway 4 times during the run, if it is hot, it'll affect the athletes without a doubt. That's a legitimate hill to do 4 times during the run.
Sure is. So that's the weather. Top temperatures 79 degrees. Going to be perfect for race day here at the World Championship. All right, let's talk about our women in the field this weekend. We've got a pro field that's like nothing else. Unbelievable. Julie Dibbins, our returning champion. She's definitely the one to watch.
There is no question that Julie Dibbins is your favorite, and yet I still call her a tiny bit of an underdog. Here's why. Absolutely amazing. Broke 4 hours. First woman to break 4 hours ever in a half Ironman distance. She has a killer swim, a killer bike, and a much improved run, which we saw in Kona with her 3rd place showing there. I call her an underdog because she's going to be a little bit tired. Her focus this year has been on Kona, and so she comes here as that underdog, as the defending champion, but without that 100% focus.
Going into Kona, I definitely was in the best shape I've ever been in. I definitely would agree with that. But yeah, you do have to factor in the mental fatigue, probably more than the physical fatigue. It's been a long year for me. I started racing in March.
On the other hand, you've got Magali Teixeira from Canada, 100% focused on 70.3 and on winning this race this year. This year, she's won some 70.3s, and then she took a break mid-season in August, and she is hungrier than ever. She possesses a great run split, running 1 hour and 20 minutes here last year, so look out for her to run through the field. And then we've got Caroline Steffen, who surprised us with her 2nd place finish in Kona this year. But what's even more exciting is that last week in Noosa at an Olympic distance event, she hammered the field and won that event, outracing women who are incredibly fast. So with that top end speed, I really have to look at her as possibly our upset. We also have athletes that are amazing swimmers. Amanda Stevens coming off her first 70.3 win. And Angela Naeth has had 6 runner-up finishes this year at the 70.3 distance with a killer bike split. So look out for her to really shake things up on the bike.
Yeah, I think you're dead right there. Julie Dibbins is the girl to beat in my mind. Carolyn Steffen is absolutely on fire this year, and Magali Tissier is going to run the field down. And anything to add to that, Chris?
Not really. I think Lisa covered all bases. I still look at Julie as... people are looking at her as an underdog because she might be a little tired from Hawaii, from Xterra, second place in Xterra World Championships. But Julie possesses an amazing bike ride that we saw her demonstrate here last year. I mean, she was scouted by Great Britain as a potential Olympic time trialist, and I think we'll see that ability on the bike on Saturday.
So over the past 5 years, Clearwater's been able to call home to the Foster Grant World Championship 70.3, and we've had champions such as Craig Alexander and also Marinda Carfrey, Samantha McGlone. They've all taken that next step toward the Ford Ironman World Championship, where they've gone on to either win or place second. So Clearwater over the last 5 years has been absolutely fantastic, and looking around, it's no wonder why we've been able to say we've had that perfect home. Okay, we're going to go out onto the course right now. Lisa, the swim, the bike, the run, what are your favourite parts of this course?
Oh, it's all my favorite, really. I think just starting the race on the beach is phenomenal. That run into the ocean, ocean swim, there is nothing like it. You can get some chop, but generally we've been honored with a nice flat swim here year in and year out. And I love going over the causeway. Of course, you go over it 4 times on the run, which I love that spot. But even on the bike, there's so many crowds out there cheering for you and motivating you at the very early part of the bike and then towards the end of the bike. So you just always are unleashing the best that you have. And that's what I really love, the spectators, and just that bridge is awesome.
And for you, Chris, I wouldn't imagine that bridge would be too kind to you on the run, would it?
Probably not. I would prefer the pancake flat run along the coast, but once you get out on the bike course here, McMullen Booth Road, the Bayside Bridge, you know, especially for international athletes coming into Clearwater, it's a beautiful destination, and you know, certainly a bike course that showcases the Clearwater area.
So Facebook and Twitter is where you want to be as well on the weekend. So if you're going to log on to that, ask us some questions and give us an idea just who you're following in the race this weekend. That should be fun, and we'll try and answer all of those questions. But if we only get to some of them, that's only because we have that time slotted for that. All right, so our premium sponsor this weekend, one of our premium sponsors is going to be offering some sort of special. So you want to log on in between or stay live in between 8 and 10 Eastern time for some announcements there, so you don't want to miss that one. So Facebook and Twitter, that's where you want to be. Ask us the questions and tell us who you're following. So the professional history here, it's been fantastic over the last 5 years, and it's launched the careers into Ironman for a lot of our athletes, including some of our very best in our women's, Marinda Carfrey, Samantha McGlone, Julie Dibbins. They've all elevated themselves in the world of Ironman and 70.3 racing from this race here.
It started with Sam McGlone. She won here and then went on to Kona and came in second. Marinda Carfrey won here, came in second, then won the Ford Ironman World Championships. And Julie Dibbin won here last year and went on to come in 3rd place this year. So incredible platform and slingshot for our professional athletes into the Ironman distance.
Sure is, and also Craig Alexander, Andy Potts, just to name a few, have done really well from here and gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, definitely, Greg. That's Craig Alexander used it as a great launching pad as well. He won here, then went on to finish second in Kona at the World Championships, and then followed that with two titles. Andy Potts, the same thing. He won in Clearwater here, and then has had 2 top 10 finishes in Kona also.
Yes, that's right. Let's go on to our pro men, because our pro men at this field here is incredible. You know, we've got to talk about Michael Raylard. You know, just off the top there, just a great athlete, defending champion. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely, Greg. For me, Michael Raylard is, you know, he's the defending champion. He has 3 70.3 titles in 2010, and he's going undefeated since June 09. You know, he's creating a legacy. To me, I kind of put it in boxing terms. You know, people want to take his belt off him. So he's definitely got a huge target on his back.
Of course, I'm nervous. There's a lot of pressure, but the pressure I reckon comes mostly from myself. But I'm nervous at every race, but especially as a world champion, it's always like a little peak.
But several other people we're looking at. Sylvain Soudry from France. Sylvain won the Miami 70.3 just a few weeks ago. It was an inaugural race but he defeated a great field there. Also the 2010 ITU Long Course World Champion. Then we've got Matty Reid from New Zealand, now racing for the USA. He's come off a season of 5150 international distance racing, so he'll have incredible top end speed. So Matty's someone to look out for, who possesses a sub 115 run. A couple other guys, Tim O'Donnell, he has 4 top 5 finishes this year and a win at the 70.3 distance in Florida at the beginning of the year.
2010 for me, it's been a good year. I'm happy with the way I've raced. In some ways, 2009 was a fantastic season. Had a lot of victories. But 2010, I made it the point to step up and make sure I was racing the best.
The list goes on, Greg. We have Richie Cunningham, Paul Amy, Leon Griffin, Joe Gambles, who set a course record at Ford Ironman Wisconsin. It just really, the field is very, very deep.
Okay, and also you did mention Joe Gambles. He's the one that I wanted to mention as well. So that Tasmanian Tigers, he's in for a good race this weekend. Lisa?
Well, Daniel Fontana was second here last year and had an outstanding run, the second fastest run. So he's not. He's going to go down kicking for sure with a quick run.
I think I can be like last year, fast and maybe faster. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Depends of the race, depends of the field, the other guys.
I like Tim O'Donnell. I think he's going to be hungry. He was extremely disappointed with that 10th place finish last year, and he's been a little bit quieter, and no doubt he is going to be gunning for that win. I think he's put a lot of work into it. I think he's an improved athlete. He's now racing for Team Red, White and Blue, which is for the veterans, for the wounded veterans. He has a Navy background, so very patriotic. So I have to give a good shout out to Tim O'Donnell.
Well, let's see if our pro men can give us a race record here in Clearwater this weekend. Well, not only our pros are going to be a good race this weekend, but our age group competition is going to be very hot, with a lot of our returning world champions coming back to Clearwater to go for it again. Also, a couple of special people in the race this weekend. Andrew Kosov, he's a film producer and also nominated for an Academy Award for The Blind Side, one of my favourite movies.
The beauty is everyone's the same. When the gun goes off, it doesn't. I'm like, hey, I did The Blind Side. Let me through. It doesn't. Do you pull over because I did The Blind Side? No, no one gives a shit. So that's the beauty of the sport, right?
Tony Kanaan, he's an IRL racing driver.
One thing that it has a big difference is in the race car. If something goes wrong, I can blame on somebody else. Here, I have no excuses. So a couple weekends ago, to give you an example, I had a flat on my bike leg and got out of the bike. I usually have 4 guys to change my tires when I come into the pits, and I had to change on my own.
And we've also got Vitor Meira from Brazil. He's another IRL racer, but I tell you what, aren't these guys used to going around in circles?
Yeah, their only pit stops will be T1 and T2 coming out of the sim and off the bike, and their fuel is going to be power bars and power gels all day long. It's very, very different.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. And Chris, round in circles to doing right-hand turns, left-hand turns. Their heart rate's going to be accelerated by legs, not just excitement and adrenaline behind the car, behind that steering wheel.
I'm sure for them they've got a rivalry, I'm sure, on the IRL circuit, and I'm 100% sure that'll transfer over to the roads on Saturday.
Okay, so we mentioned at the top of the show, but the weather is going to be hot, hot, hot. Hot racing, hot athletes, hot everything around the board. Temperatures at about 79 degrees. Mild winds should be perfect for race day. So for Lisa Bentley and Chris McDonald, I'm Greg Welch. Join us tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time here on Ironman Live. We'll be live in body marking. 6:45 is our pro start time. 6:55 the age grouper start. Our first person across the line around about 10:15 Eastern Standard Time in the race. This is Ironman Live, bringing the Ironman experience to you.